Okay, today we're going to talk about this little 1952 Ford 8N. Um, just basically going to hurry up and do this because it might very well leave shortly. Um, I have no real sentimental attachment to this thing, so I'm going to get something that I like a little bit better. Um, as I say, it's a 1952. Your serial number is right here on this little flat spot on the block. That'll tell you what year it is. Anyway, I bought this thing about a year ago, um, and I paid a fair price for it for a non-running tractor. Got it running, working. That was quite a bit more of a chore than I had planned on it being. It was advertised as not running. The guy didn't know what was wrong with it. It had been sitting for, I think, 2 years. I kind of think now he did know what was wrong with it because it had actually spun the number 3 cylinder rod bearing. So I ended up having to break this thing in 3 pieces. Take the front axle off. I separated the engine from the transmission. Tore it down. Put in all new rod and main bearings. And since then I got it running. The distributor cap was cracked, so I replaced that. It's been all in all a decent little tractor. I just don't like it. It's not comfortable for me. To aid my comfort, since I'm a taller guy, I put that piece of 2x4 underneath the seat just to give me a little bit more leg room with it. They're real simple, basic little tractors. I'm not 100% sure on this, but they say that some of the earlier model 8Ns, this is the last year they actually made an 8N. Some of the earlier ones, the distributor was tucked down in here, which, yeah, I don't like that idea. I'm happy that I got the other later style with the distributor out here on the side where you can actually get to it. Anyway, as I said, this thing might be leaving here in the next couple of days. All in all, it's done what I needed it to do, but I'm hopefully off to bigger, well, not necessarily bigger, but better in my mind things. We'll see how that all works out. Anyway, they're real simple, real basic. One thing that pretty much nobody knows that I have found is that these things actually have a neutral safety switch. If the tractor is in gear, or if it's just a little bit out of position, it needs to be in neutral right there about the second gear mark. And then the starter will actually engage. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. But yeah, the little turd actually runs really good. I put this inline fuel filter in it because the tank was pretty much full of crap, rust and whatnot. It sat empty for quite a while. I had to rebuild the carburetor on it to get it to run right, but no surprise, it had been sitting with dry and with gas in it, probably for some point in time. This one is still on 6 volt, which I like. I guess if I was to still own it and the generator did go bad, I would probably convert it. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to leave the little thing alone. Gas tank, battery, the nifty little toolbox that comes with them. My one modification to it was there's no place to hold a water bottle on this thing, and so I made that out of an old piece of dryer vent because I had it laying around, and so far so good on that. I don't know how many bottles of water I lost off of this little tractor. Another thing, this little lever here underneath the right side of the seat is for your draft control. I believe up is draft control and down is just lift. Transmission and hydraulic dipstick. These take actual 90 weight mineral oil in the transmission and the rear end, and that is what you use for the hydraulics. So if it is cold, this thing really doesn't like to work. Engine oil, your engine oil filter, starter and solenoid. This is all that I know of original to the tractor to 1952. So I'm hopeful to see it leave, because you know it's just really not my style of thing. I was raised on Internationals, Farmalls. There were a few Olivers, and you know, there were a couple Alice Chalmerses and a couple of newer Fords. Newer as in like 100 series, you know, 3000s and stuff like that. You know, for what this thing is, it does do what I need it to do, but like I say, I just don't like it. No fixed drawbar. That's a drawback in my mind. So you have to use this cross drawbar on your 3-point hitch. That has its place, but not for pulling a trailer or wagon or anything. You know, I have an actual original post hole digger for this thing. It'll go with it because it really won't fit on anything else. This is your PTO lever here, and the PTO has to run in order for your lift to work. So they provide this nifty little cover right here to cover up the little, and it actually has a small PTO shaft, not the standard 1 3/8 540 shaft. It's smaller than that. I don't remember what it is, but they make adapters for them. You know, it runs the potato plow, and it pulls a blade, and it runs the little yard rake thing that I got for it. My biggest complaints with it are the brakes. They suck. And reverse is third gear forward, basically. So this thing absolutely flies in reverse. It's like 6 miles an hour, which, you know, you're trying to back something up with it, and it doesn't work for me. I've become pretty intricately familiar with it because of the work that it had to do to the engine and whatnot. And you know, all in all, it's a fairly well designed little machine. I never understood how they sold 500,000 of these things though, and I still don't. You know, it kind of is what it is. It's not a bad little tractor, but I'm gonna get a red one, I think. Anyway, this is probably not the greatest quality video you'll ever see on a Ford 8N, but it's my version of a video of a Ford 8N anyway. You know, we are not a big operation, so it does the job that I need it to do, but I want something that's going to do it a little bit better. So This is High Desert Home and Garden. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more. Thanks.